welcome everyone. We're here because it's Holiday Club for Youth Saints. And I've got your pack. This is the pack that you should have with you as well. I hope you've got it with you. And you'll see somebody else on screen. And that person on screen is Jane. Now, Jane,
hello everyone.
Hi Jane. And Jane's going to help us with our great reveal. Aren't you, Jane?
I am, and it's good to be with you today, Eileen, and it's good to be with all of you as well. So Eileen's got the pack. So Eileen, do you want to open up and see what's inside? Maybe everybody will do it at the same time. So start opening your packs, everyone.
That would be super, because I haven't seen what's inside myself. All right, so unpeg. Shall I take out first? Well, actually, I've got, what is this, Jane? Can you help us with that? What's that?
Oh, well, that's a hello from us, and a hello from Eileen, and a hello from the parish. And inside that plastic pack, if you want to take all the sheets out.
Take all the sheets out?
Yeah, take all the sheets out.
Okay, so I've got a hello sheet. And that's from all of us. And then, okay, lots of sheets. So let me just take them out. Oh, quite a lot. Jane, the first one I've got says self-care journal. Do you want to talk us through that? I know it's a bit difficult because it's a bit upside down. Can you sort of see and make it out?
A self-care journal, it's giving you all the ideas that you need to actually make your own journal. And it's really good to do things like this because you're able to put anything into your notebook. If you've got a spare notebook about, or you think your parents or your grandparents might be able to buy you a notebook, you'll be able to put it in all your keepsakes. Even from going out on walks, you'll be able to pick flowers and you can press them into your pages and you can write about your day. A bit like a diary, but a bit more than a diary in a way, because you can put thoughts and poems, things that happened that day, messages that have been sent to you, things like that. And it's all about reflecting on your day, but it's also that journal's there to revert back to, and you can open it up and it can make you smile and you can add things to it. So we hope you enjoy that.
That's brilliant. You know, Jane, our holiday club, it's called Eco Warriors. And, you know, we are trying to launch, or we're going to launch, a Care for Creation Club. And the first thing we do to care for creation is care for ourselves. So the Eco Warrior needs to know who he or she is. And so this journal is a discovery journal, isn't it?
I'm just going to close the window because I think somebody's gardening outside.
That's interesting. Well, that's what Zoom is like, everyone. But for the Eco Warrior, when you do your journal and you discover different things any day, you know, during your holiday, you also learn about yourself, because you learn about what you choose to pick up, and you choose to, you know, sort of say, oh, wow, this thought has occurred to me and I want to put it in my journal. So when you discover who you are, you can learn about how you care for yourself. Isn't that right, Jane?
It is. And as you delve more into the other sheets, it's all about having a go and taking care of yourself as well and having fun, because when we're having fun, that really helps our mental health when we're having fun, because it makes us smile and it makes us feel good about ourselves. Absolutely. So do we have a look at the other sheets too?
Yeah, well, the next one says sound art. Ooh, that's interesting. Sound art, draw a sound bug. Well, what on earth is that, Jane? Do you want to tell us what that
now,
is?
Sound art, that's a really interesting thing to do, because I'm an artist, so I love to do very different things to help my creativity. And exploring your creativity through listening is a really nice thing to do, because did you know that you can actually create art by listening? So if you're sat outside, if you've got a garden or a yard, or you're out on a walk, you can just find a quiet spot with your sheet, and you can sit and close your eyes and listen to the world around you. And you can make marks, and those marks identify how you're feeling. So you might hear, like you just heard the gardener outside with the lawnmower. So what kind of mark would you make at the sound of a lawnmower? I think I would. I've got a sheet here, so maybe I'll try something. So that made me quite, I heard it. So I think I would make quite a frantic mark. Can you see that? I think I'd make
a bit of a scratchy mark. And why is that, Jane? Why is that a scratchy mark?
Well, because it's quite a noise, isn't it? And it stopped our conversation for a wee while, didn't it? Because we were in conversation. But if you're sat quietly and you're just wanting to relax, if you hear a loud noise, you actually might make some quite rapid and scratchy marks. But then you may hear the sound of something buzzing, so you may just make, if you hear that, you then might just, that's gentle, so it might be swirly marks. And then out of all those marks, you might be able to make your own bug. All right, because you've had your eyes closed and you're making those marks with your eyes closed, you then look at your sheet and you maybe notice something in some of those marks that you've made on your sheet, and they may look like something else. Have you ever looked at a sky that's got lots of clouds and thought to yourself, that cloud looks like a giraffe, or that cloud looks like a love heart, or that cloud looks like a gremlin?
I got the idea. It sounds really interesting. And as you were talking, Jane, I also thought that some sounds cause me to imagine colors as well.
That's right. So
if it was a soft sound, I might think of a soft color. But if it was a loud sound, I might think, I could imagine thunder and lightning. And so it could be a dark sky with the lightning, in bright yellow or something, over a bang, so it's like a firecracker. And then I can imagine that too.
I'm with you on that. I'm looking for a photo that I could possibly share with you, but I'm not quite sure whether I've got any today. But those swirls, you can then add further colour into it, and that would be really nice. And then you may actually just create a piece of modern art.
Yeah, because now everyone, you can look on that sheet that says sound art, draw a sound bug, because Jane has actually put in that close your eyes whilst listening to music. So you could actually put some music on. And it could be music that you don't actually know, but just any music. And it says, what does it look like? Now that's interesting. You hear music and then it creates some thoughts, pictures in your mind. Is it scary music or friendly music? Is it big sound or small sound? Happy or sad? Well, that's really interesting. Thank you, Jane. Now,
what's the next sheet?
Yeah, the next piece is actually, I think, definitely outdoor piece, because it says, have a go at a nature scavenger hunt. A scavenger hunt, nature scavenger hunt. And there are lots of sort of drawings, pictures of what you might scavenge because of what you might find on the hunt. So Jane, do you want to talk us through some of the ideas of why it's called a hunt and why it's called scavenging.
Why is it called scavenging? Well, you're picking something up, aren't you? You're finding something. So I guess that's why it's a scavenge. So you're finding things that have just been left on the ground. The thing about using pieces from nature is that it's very important not to pick a leaf off a tree or to pick a flower or to pull anything up, because that's wrong. We need to forage, and foraging art is all about picking things up that have already just dropped to the ground. So leaves fall off trees, and you can pick up sticks and all kinds of feathers. You may find some feathers, you never know. And you can collect those in a bag, and when you get back, you can use what you found to then create something. And we've put a dream catcher mobile up there, and maybe that might actually be something that you would like to do. But you could also just use all those pieces onto a blank sheet of paper and create a picture.
Well, when you say create a picture, Jane, I'm just excited by what you've described, and I think that some of the things that are picked up from the ground have got different shapes and different sizes and different textures and different colors. And so when you said create a picture, it could be that we could stick them onto a piece of paper or cardboard or something. And it doesn't have to be a picture that sort of actually looks like anything familiar, does it?
No, it doesn't.
It just be something that feels nice or reflects how one feels.
And you can actually create that image on site as well, outside. So you don't actually have to put it onto a piece of paper. You could actually just find all these bits and pieces and lay them all out on the ground and take your picture once you're done, and then let everything scatter to the wind again, which is lovely, because then you're leaving nature back where it is.
Well, that's a thought as well, isn't it? But one of the things that I also wondered, because I know, now I'm going to speak to that young person who is listening to me right now, that some of you like to learn about what you find. So you might want to do some research on it. I'm just looking at the sheet, and if you look at the sheet with me, one of them that is drawn out by Jane says pine cone. Now, I don't come from a country where I know what a pine is. And also, it says it's a cone. So I think for some of you, you might want to find out about, where pine cone comes from. I know that some of you know this, it comes from a tree. But it's like, what is a pine tree? Yeah. And is there only one type of pine tree, or is there a pine tree that is unique to this country? Does it grow here, or was it brought here from somewhere else where it was first found? And so I think there's some things that are really interesting. I know this sounds a bit weird, but I love Winnie the Pooh, and it says acorn here. I think Winnie the Pooh says something about, is it Piglet who likes acorns? Yeah.
And there's sticks on there as well. So obviously, you can poo sticks, yeah. If you go over the bridge, you can have races with sticks. Always love to do that.
Yeah, so that's something else that you might want to be able to do just from one sheet. And you can do a scavenger hunt, you can create something from what you have collected, and then you can discover much more about the individual items that you've collected, and maybe sit with one of Pooh's stories or one of Pooh's poems and have a conversation with Pooh and Piglet.
That's a nice idea, Eileen.
Or compete with someone on Pooh sticks, because we've got a river. And so that's something that someone could do as well. So that's one of the sheets. Well, would you believe it? We've got even more. And it's something called marbling. Now, this one, I really need Jane's help here, because I don't think I've ever done anything called marbling.
Wow.
So over to you, Jane. What is marbling?
Well, marbling is a process of putting colour onto paper, but it's creating it in a marbled way. So it has movement. So the colours have movement. So there's within the information that we've put on that sheet is how to do it. How do you do marbling? And you can use a variety of ways. You can use water and oil and inks, or you can use shaving foam, or you can use milk. And so work through the sheet, find out what the best way is for you and what you have in the house. You need to keep your area clean as possible. So put something down to protect your table, or if you do it, best to do it outside if it's a lovely sunny day. And you have a tray, and you fill that tray with what you're going to use, and dab some colours in there, and then place your sheet on top. And when you peel the sheet back, it's all those colours have merged onto the sheet, and it's beautiful. So we hope you have fun with that one.
Well, that's really interesting, because I was looking at it, as I say, I've not done it before. And it might be that in your house, your mum or dad or someone in the house may have an old tray. And it always wondered, what we do, or otherwise it goes to the tip. We don't want to throw many things in the tip, do we? Because we're all about being eco-friendly. And so if you find an old tray, and I'm really interested in this because you can use milk. You know what happened to my milk this morning, Jane, because it's in the summer? It curdled.
Oh, did it curdle?
Yeah. So if you have any curdled milk or soured milk, everyone, you can use that to follow the sheet, and you can pour it into the tray. And then it says use food colorings. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that means you don't actually have to use paint. Although, if there's any old paint in the house that is, when it comes to the bottom of the tin or the bottom of the tube, that's the best thing to do, because you don't waste that as well, do you, Jane?
You have to mix it with water, because it has to be you pour it in droplets. So you don't want if you're using paint, you don't want it very thick. So
you don't need a lot of paint. You need it quite dilute.
No, you don't. And you have a stick as well. So once you've dropped in your paint, you then can use your stick to and mix all the different colours together, and that makes all the merged colours. Very old books actually used to have marbling sheets as their inside cover. Right. And marbling was a very, very expensive commodity, and marbling papers can be very, very expensive. So it'd be lovely to see how your marbling sheets turn out. So take photos of everything that you do.
Okay, that's absolutely fabulous. That's something new for many people, I'm sure. Now, there's something else that is really quite different as well, but this one looks quite sophisticated, Jane, and it's got a name. It's called the mandala art. So, Jane, what's mandala art?
Well, it's just a creating an expansion of a pattern. So you start with a circle in the middle, and then you move out and out and out. And as you can see, that mandala is quite large, and it's got stripes, and it's got curves, and it's got wiggly lines. So there's a blank sheet of paper on the other side. So hopefully after looking at that, your creativity can be widened, and you think, I'm going to have a go at that. So that would be really good. I hope you enjoy it. And again, you can add colour to yours too, and also add colour to the one that's there. So We hope you have fun with that sheet.
So this one really, it's 2 in 1. Actually, I think it's 3 in 1, because you gave a little one, extra one as well. And that little extra one almost looks like, you know, when I cut across a courgette or a cucumber or a tomato,
Yeah.
I sometimes
patterns,
see
hasn't it?
patterns very much like that one.
Yeah. Even a banana, and if you cut an apple in half, there's patterns and shapes there. So it's really interesting that, Eileen, that you should say that, because we can see lots and lots and lots of different patterns from nature, can't we? From the bark of a tree, if you were to find a log on the floor, you all know that that log will have patterns. It has circles, doesn't it, to denote how old the tree is. So yes, we find patterns everywhere, and it's wonderful. So it's all this is about your own creations and exploring your own creativity, but amongst that is looking to nature to notice what creativity is around us within creation. It's wonderful.
Exactly that. I'm so glad that you've mentioned that, because that's my immediate thought, that, you know, now you said, if you can imagine any of the fruit and veg and trees and other things that has got a natural Mandela style pattern, well, go and find them. That'd be great. Lovely. So that's next one. Oh, more goodies. Now this one's completely different. And now I'm not sure how I describe it. It's almost like showers from a watering can of blessings.
It is. Yes.
Yeah.
And this sheet is just for you to colour in if you want to, or you can just leave it the way it is, and you can find a place, perhaps in your bedroom, if you've got a place where you're allowed to put pieces of paper up on the wall, or if you've got a notice board, or maybe if you stick things on your fridge with magnets. And that's just to make you smile every day. It's a lovely picture just to bring a smile to your face, and it's got very, 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 very positive words on there to make us all feel good. So
thank you, Jane, because I think, you know, what we do know, I mean, we are in a rural area. Our youth saints come from, many come from Teesdale and around and abouts, and we love our little gardens. And so we know that watering our plants, our vegetables and fruit and flowers is quite important, but sometimes we forget to water ourselves, feed ourselves with all the good things to help ourselves to be positive. I know you said, Jane, that, you know, what you've got here is really positive. Now, everyone, you can read the words there that are showered into this mind: happiness, strength, hope, love, and more love. That's great. And so maybe you might want to think about, what are the things or occasions or places or people that will water you, shower you with these positive things? We need more of those, don't we? Right, so what's the next one? Ooh, now this one, I think I should have shown together with a scavenger hunt. But here goes. It's in colour and all. Bug scavenger hunt. Now, what we did before in terms of scavenger hunt, it wasn't about bugs, but about what was fallen onto the ground. So this is a bit different, isn't it, Jane? Do you want to say a few things about it?
Well, quite self-explanatory, really, because there's got, you can see there's some lovely illustrations on there as well. So there's a bee and there's a butterfly and there's there's worms and snails and a ladybird. I love ladybirds. So really, it's just for you to have with you, and you can, or if you don't have it with you, you can maybe out on a walk, you've noticed a ladybird, and you can go back and you can tick that you've seen a ladybird that day. So really, that's just about you logging some of the finds that you notice on your time outside. And perhaps on the other side of the sheet, you can actually add some of the other insects and bugs that you find that aren't on the sheet. You might find new ones especially if you have a trip to the beach. You might find different things there. So
that's an interesting idea, because some of our youth saints, right, you might spend a day on the beach or by the seaside, if that's where you and your family choose to go for one of the summer days. And actually what you find on the ground is going to be different. You might not find leaves and acorns or pine cones. You might find something different, different shapes, and you might add it and create something from there as well. And I don't think you'll find the same bugs either. I was wondering, Jane, won't you think it's a good idea if they happen to have a camera with them, perhaps a mobile phone camera or something, or a device, that they could take a photograph of, perhaps like you were saying, the butterfly or a ladybird or a spider or a slug or whatever, and that would be, bring it alive. Yeah,
that's right. That would be lovely.
Yeah. Oh, now this one's a bit of a challenge. It's actually writing their own newspaper articles. Now, I really, really like this one because, Jane, you seem to know this, that we've got a parish news magazine.
Oh, wow.
That is published every month in the community. And we would love it if the news articles from our youth saints, get published in our parish magazine, our parish news. And so
I'm really pleased we put that in then, because writing is very close to my heart, and I love doing creative writing. So, Eileen, do you want to read what it says to get us started?
Yeah, it says, write your own newspaper article, a persuasive article to encourage everyone to look after our planet.
Right. So is there an explanation, which I think there is, about what does that word persuasive mean?
It says a body of text whose main purpose is to put forward a point of view and persuade a reader with an eye-catching headline and a photo that is interesting, compelling, that sells your story, catches your attention, and then some facts and opinions. And you've mentioned some quotes, Jane. So I think our youth saints might need to find out by reading on their own. Find out, who are the other eco-warriors that have already been writing and telling people all about it. Well, I can certainly think of Richard Attenborough. Yeah? So he's definitely someone who's an eco-warrior. And I think Prince Charles, the Duke of Cornwall. Yeah? So I think he is definitely an eco-warrior as well, isn't he?
That's right. And there are some younger eco-warriors as well. So maybe it would be a challenge and a very good way for you to find out about younger people that are actually working very hard and making their voices heard about the planet and how we should protect and look after it.
Absolutely. It comes to mind. I know he does adventures, but I'm sure he's an eco-warrior too. Bear Grylls.
That's right.
Yeah. He's a little younger, but not as young as our youth saints, but nevertheless.
No, I think there are some younger ones out there, and I want to say one, but hopefully I'm not going to, because I want you guys to find out who those younger people are, and you'll be included in this as well once you've actually started writing your article and thinking about the planet, which I think all young people are doing at the moment. I think it's very personal to them. It's their future. And it is important that we start protecting the planet.
Thank you. And you know, some of our youth saints know about this, because a couple of years ago we had a youth saints trip, or at that time it was called St. Mary's Youth Trip, and they created bug hotels. And so with some of the foraged articles that we've got, you know, they might actually intentionally forage some bug hotels and talk about why bug hotels are actually a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's a really good one. Yeah.
And I've got the last sheet. I've got the last sheet. The last sheet is another activity. Now, I'm going to have to read it because it's upside down there. And actually, this activity it says water cycle in a bag. Experiment. Water cycle in a bag. Now, that's interesting. Tell us a bit more about that, Jane. What kind of bag? And what do we do?
Well, I think it shows in the diagram that it's a plastic bag. So you may have some plastic bags. It's got to be see-through. So perhaps you've had a sandwich in a plastic sandwich bag that you'd like to reuse, so you can wash it and clean it out and use it for this activity. You can also use a plastic bottle too. I mean, we're really trying not to use as much plastic, aren't we? But there are still plastic products out there. So if you have something that is plastic within the house that you're no longer using, and instead of maybe putting it into the recycling bin at the moment, you could use it for this activity. So it takes you through the whole process of how to get started and why it's sometimes good. It's an experiment in a way. It's to find out about precipitation and things like that, which sound like really long words, but I know that a lot of you have actually done this at school. So I think you'll find it a fun activity to do. So it would be nice to hear back and find out what your results have been and whether you've enjoyed it or not.
So it's really a fun experiment that actually reuses plastic that I think our youth saints would normally use, because like you say, I'm going to read here because you can all read it with me, you know, a clear sealable plastic bag or a clear plastic bottle with a lid. And you see, those items are certainly what our youth saints will find in the house. Mm-hmm. And then we want a permanent marker pen. Now, I think these are marker pens that are quite sort of thickish felt tips, yeah?
Yes, like I think everybody knows what I mean when I say Sharpies, because I think you use Sharpies at school, or just a very thick marker pen.
And it's a kind of marker pen that would not run with water. Yeah? So that's what permanent means. And then use a tape if you're using the plastic bag. Yeah? And then blue food coloring, but that's your optional. Yeah? And I think that everyone who asks their mums or parents or about what blue food coloring is, that they'll be able to find out, won't they? Yeah. And the interesting thing to me is, what we need is a sunny window. Okay. So anyway, you saints, follow the instructions and enjoy what you find, because it asks you to discover what is happening. And in order to discover what's happening, you'll have to really look and notice. And you've got to be patient. You've got to be all little eco-scientists in order to learn to be eco-warriors, don't we?
That's right.
And I think that's what we've got here. And actually, Jane has drawn some things here that, now Jane, tell me, am I right in saying that what you've drawn explains in the science behind what our young people would observe?
That's right, yes. And you can actually draw that yourself onto your bag if you want to, or you can just see it happening from having that patience to just check it out every day if it's stuck on that window, to see whether you've got condensation or precipitation and what's happening. Okay,
that's great. Well, those are all the sheets that came from the plastic sheet sort of holder that says hello. All right. So we're not done yet. We've got something else in here in another little bag. A bag in a bag. So what's in this bag in a bag?
Remember, you can use these bags to create as well. The bags you can use for an art project. Make the bag into, I don't know, make it into an owl, or make it into a fox, or make it into some kind of animal. That would be really nice. So
you mean cut shapes out?
Or fold it down and draw eyes and colour it in.
Okay, well, now that's a challenge, because this is something you can do without any instructions. But I know that a lot of you are very creative. And by the way, you don't have to do them alone. You can do that together, can't you? So I think some of you will be meeting up during the holidays, and so you can do some of these things together. Right, so I've got a sheet here that is like an instruction sheet, and it tells you what this bag's all about. Well, again, it's upside down. It says painted pebbles, and you can see that there. Now, you know, Jane, some of our youth saints are quite familiar with pebbles because they've done it in school before, and they love it. But here's your personal ones, guys, because tell us what these are, Jane. What's this?
So they're acrylic paints. And we've just put 3 colours in there because you can actually mix your colours together to create other colours. So have a go at mixing. You get a paintbrush and you also get a pebble.
Right.
Got a pebble in there, Eileen. And there's the pebble. Oh, and a very lovely shaped pebble there. So
that's a really nice one.
Yeah. So you can paint your background first, and maybe you would like to put words on it. Words of encouragement, or you'd just like to paint a lovely picture onto your pebble, and you can then, we've suggested that maybe that you'd like to give it as a gift, but I think it's also just as nice to hold on to it for yourself too. It's nice to give yourself a gift now and again. So
I approve of that. You know, when I have this pebble, I kind of feel like I put it in my hand, and then I can imagine someone that, you know, we've missed a lot of people during the last 17 months, haven't we? Or we've missed something. It doesn't have to be a person, but it could be something that we've really missed. And we can hold it and imagine that that's the thing that we've really missed and that we really care about it. And it feels good that we still be, you know, we still feel that it's with us. Yeah? So I really like that. But Jane has also put something else in there. I'm going to show it to you, and then I'm going to read it. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. It's a wonderful little verse, because that is why we should love our planet. We should love all that we see that is natural and created. And we should love and care for ourselves and those around us. Because in the beginning, God created, and it was really good because it's out of love. And if things have been spoiled, we can make it better, can't we?
I think that's a lovely way to end this. Hello and welcome to your pack video, Eileen. Well done, that's lovely.
I've got a couple of treats that I personally put in there. So I'm going to show that as well.
Oh, wow.
It's just 2 small little things. Because that's a little eraser.
Oh,
it looks like an apple. And some of you have got different fruit and vegetables and plants.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, shaped, and it's an eraser. And also I've put a crayon in it. I don't know what you're going to do with a crayon. I'm sure you're going to find a use for it. And I'm hoping that, you know, you could do some of those sheets that we talked about. You can use your crayon. Now, everyone's got a different color as well. We're going to close now. And before we say farewell to Jane, I'm just going to say you've all got a form. And the form, can you please complete them, everyone? Because we want your name and also your contact information. And this really, if you can get your mum or dad or your guardian, you know, someone who can sign on your behalf, and then email to me, because we would like to be able to contact you to come back again on the 26th of August. 26th of August, 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, because that's when we're going to share, show and tell what we've all done with our holiday packs. So thanks very much, Jane, for being with us today as well.
Thank you for inviting us to be part of this. It's so exciting. And I really look forward to hearing from you, Eileen, and perhaps seeing some photographs of all the wonderful things that have been created during summer. Have a great summer, everyone.
Yeah, photographs and videos. And Jane can see what everyone has done.
Bye.
Bye, Jane. Bye, everyone. All the best and have fun. Keep well. Take care. Bye.